Hey, I'm golf broadcaster Matt Adams, and where I'm standing right now certainly does not need any introduction. Clearly, right in front of the R&A building here, astride the first tee at the old course of St. Andrews. And the reason why we're recording this here is because I know that this is a bucket list for most people to play anywhere around the world. In my case, I'm delighted to say it's my job to be at places like this, which is what drew me to GolfForever. I started my relationship with them at the end of last year, and why I did it was pretty straightforward. You know, for a guy in his 50s, I wanted to gain more club head speed. I wanted to make sure I maintained or even gained more flexibility. Those are the objectives. And so I started to do what I was supposed to do every day, going through the programs, and new ones were recommended to me. And I found that as I was moving along, my effort to make sure that as Father Time marched on, that I could at least play to the same level as a single digit handicap, or maybe even get a little bit better, was proven because it wasn't just about flexibility. It was also about exercise. It was also about getting you in the proper position for the respective golf swings. So all of that leading together really started to lead to something much, much more, which is what really excited me, because I found that because of GolfForever that I started to watch my nutrition more, what I was drinking more, working out more, lifting more, and the balance of it was such that I ended up losing 15 pounds of fat and replacing it with 15 pounds of muscle, just again, lifting it, what have you. And while that's not directly related to GolfForever, it's directly because of GolfForever that I started to take it all so seriously. And so because of all of that, and wanting to go to places like, St. Andrews here for work this week, but we just got back from a big fan trip with the show where we played Ballybunion, Lahinch, Tralee, the Old Head, all these great golf courses throughout Ireland. I wanted to make sure that I can do what I want, where I want, when I want, with whomever. And GolfForever has delivered all that for me. And so I just wanted to say that if you're looking to get stronger, if you're looking to improve your golf game, if you're looking to even more so improve your life, then GolfForever might be just the perfect vehicle for you, as it has been for me.
So as you saw in that feature, which obviously we shot at St. Andrews, we were out there for the Women's Open. I was broadcasting for the BBC and the World Feed. I think that for me, being introduced to GolfForever and that partnership, it's been life-changing. Now, I know a lot of people, I bump into people all the time. It's really fun and very cool once you become associated with something like this, where people want to share their story. And there are so many stories of people playing better golf, improving their golf swing, improving their flexibility. What I was trying to express there that hopefully came across was that I was able to improve all of those things. I was able to improve my life, full stop, because of my association with GolfForever. We are delighted right now. Pete Holman has joined me, who's a co-creator of GolfForever. Peter, as you just saw, I mean, it's from the heart, and it's emotional for me, because when you're dealing with something like this, all of us collectively, you're dealing with quality of life, and you're dealing with making a decision to make your life better. Somewhere along the lines, you made a decision to be involved in making lives better through fitness, through understanding. So with that, first of all, I want to say welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have your company. Could you tell us a little bit about your background and how that path led you to where you are now, that you are impacting the lives of many, 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 many people?
Whoa, Maddie Ice coming out with curveballs out of the gate. I actually was in middle school, and I'm sorry, not middle school. I was in high school, my junior year of high school, and I was having a very difficult time in life. I was, kind of drinking and drugging and doing all the punky stuff that sometimes you get into as an adolescent. And it was the last day of school, and I'm walking out of school to go to the parking lot to kind of party with my friends. And I walk by the weight room, and I hear these clanking of weights going on. And I said, what's going on here? Are they lifting weights? Like, it's the last day of school. Everybody else is going out to party at summertime. And I look in the window of the weight room, and sure enough, it's some of the football team in there lifting weights. And I kind of got nervous and skittish, and I backed away from the door. And just then, whoosh, the door opens. And it's the strength coach. And he looked me dead in the eyes. He was big, ominous dude. He looks me dead in the eyes and he says, "Are you going to stand there staring through the window? Or are you going to step inside and train with champions?" And, after urinating on myself, I said, I think I'll step inside, please. And so I stepped inside, and he introduced me to strength training. That was the first time I'd lifted weights. And you know what? It wasn't just that my confidence improved. I got a new lease on life. I started to eat healthier. I started to run and jog. I started to respect myself, and my confidence grew. And it helped me to actualize my potential in other areas of life. And I think that's what GolfForever is all about. Obviously, as a golfer, I want you to play your best golf ever. I want you to lower your handicap. But as a physical therapist and strength coach, more importantly, I want you to live a long, viable life and be able to play with your grandkids on the beach and be able to go on to the hikes that you've never been on and go on the cruises and the trips. And let me tell you something, man, if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't take care of your body, where are you going to live?
It's amazing stuff, Peter. It's first of all, it's a very cool story about how you got into and introduced to fitness.
True story.
Part of me is just going, thank God that guy took the time to say to a kid, "Come on in here, big tough guy. Come on in here. Let's get started." And again, your whole life with helping people and training people and rehabilitating people, champion in Taekwondo, all these things that make all the parts that make up the whole. You decide to go down the road of GolfForever. And I guess what I was really hoping to accomplish here today, aside from introducing people who may not be familiar with GolfForever, whom I don't know if there's many of those left, but I was hoping to make people understand that for all the things that GolfForever is, it's more than just a training stick. Is that fair to start that way? Do you know where I'm going?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a vehicle to start moving again. It's an excuse to warm up before you play your round or before you hit range balls. Folks, if you're not warming up for 5 minutes, 10 minutes before you hit range balls, number one, you're not going to hit them well because you're not loose, you're not mobile. You're not ready to perform at a high level. And secondarily, you're going to get injured, or the chances of you getting injured significantly elevate. So, warm up before you play. And then on the off days, if you're not doing a little bit of exercise, golf-specific exercise, working on mobility, working on core strength, working on balance, guess what? If you have all three of those, you get increased rotational power, and that's where your distance comes. So everybody wants the quick fix, the shortcut. But if you're not doing some kind of general physical exercise, and our program, it's very golf specific, 2 to 3 times a week, you're not going to get to where you want to go. And by the way, most people have this preconceived notion that I've got to spend an hour and 20 minutes. I'm going to be lying on the floor in a puddle of sweat by the end of the workout. That's not the case. 2 to 3 times a week, 20-minute workouts is our average workout time, 22 minutes. You can build core strength. You can build mobility in your hips and your thoracic spine. You can build balance so you can right yourself over the ball and get in a great address position. And then you have the endurance so that you don't fall apart on the back nine, which is, has anybody ever had that experience? And so all these things help improve your golf game, but equally important, they help improve your quality of life and your health and wellness and vitality.
All right, so let's assume for a second that everybody on this side of the camera, Pete, that are looking at you, are the kid that's looking through that glass door. Can you show us a few things and introduce the world into how and why GolfForever works, some of the moves, some of the things that we can give us an idea of what it's like to go through the program on a daily basis, as you were saying?
Yeah. So GolfForever, it's really two things, okay? We have a physical product. It's called the GolfForever Swing Trainer. And this is something that I co-created with our GolfForever team with my background in biomechanics and physical therapy. So it's literally a bar and a cord. The cord's attached to one side. So as soon as you start to move with this system, there's tension through your core, there's a balance challenge, and you have to start to move with mobility through three-dimensional space. So there's the swing trainer is phase one. Phase two is you got to know how to use it. So we have world-class coaches like myself, like other golf pros on the app that walk you through soup to nuts. Hey, here's your first move. We're going to warm up before you hit range balls, right? And we have different workouts. We also have a pretty slick assessment tool on the app that takes you through an assessment, and we look at all those things that are important in golf: core strength, mobility, balance, and then we can hone in on, hey, what are you deficient at, and how can we facilitate you getting better at those exercises? And then the last thing about the program is it's progressive. It gets a little harder over time, and that's a common theory in strength and conditioning. It's called progressive overload. You have to challenge the body over time. But check this out. So if you're watching live, or if you're listening, I'll try to describe this. You grab the bar. As soon as you start to rotate, guess what? You're strengthening your rotational muscles. Those are extremely important for golf and golf performance and back health. As soon as you start to rotate towards the end ranges, guess what? You're getting mobility and flexibility throughout the body. If you want a big turn, you have to be able to turn through your joints, through your hips, through your thoracic spine. How do you do that? You get on the swing trainer and you start to engage in those motions under light resistance. And then eventually we want to focus on speed and power. How do you do that? You have to move with speed and power. So a lot of times in the gym, you'll see people doing exercises, great exercises, bicep curls, bench presses, squats, lunges. These are wonderful. However, they're not golf specific. They strengthen your muscles. We want to strengthen the muscles in a rotational plane of motion so that over time you can add speed and velocity and power, and that's what gives you distance. One last thing about this bar is once we do the exercises on our orthodox side, guess what we got to do, Matt? We got to switch. We got to do the same drills on our unorthodox side, or for me, my left hand. So a lot of times in physical therapy, one of the first things we look at when we assess injuries and mechanical injuries is we look at symmetries or asymmetries from left to right. So a lot of people that have chronic pain and pathology dysfunction, they have a strength imbalance from the left to the right side. Golfers suffer from this all day long because all they do is swing from one side of the body. So a huge hallmark of our program is that we try to balance the body from left to right.
All right, so that's incredible. A couple of questions that I have after seeing what we just did. One is, what about people who are looking for some place or some way to anchor their GolfForever kit, and tell us more about the kit itself in terms of different applications, different handles, etc.
Yeah. So there's a misnomer that if somebody sees the GolfForever swing trainer being used by Scotty Scheffler out on the range and it's connected to a golf cart, and that's a simple way to connect it. You can connect it to a fence, a railing, a golf cart, just wraps around. But then everybody thinks, oh, I guess you have to have a golf cart to anchor it. That's not the case. You can anchor this thing anywhere. It's a simple carabiner. So you can clip the carabiner to a fence. You can loop it around a railing or a tree or a golf cart. But every kit also comes with a door anchor. Now, if you can see this door anchor has a little marble in the middle. Yep. You put the marble into a door jamb. You close the door on the marble, and you've got a solid anchor point to clip the carabiner in, right? The carabiners just clips in from the end of the bar like this. Now I can clip the carabiner into the end of this anchor point, and I can train in the comfort of my own home. So there's no excuses not to strength train on your off days and getting better golf fitness. And by the way,
that door anchor, by the way, is the way that we use it. That it works great.
Yeah, I think you were saying you have one of these at home, and you use it at home with the door anchor. So you're in your garage, you're in your office, you're in your den. And even, I tell you what, even between some Zoom calls, or if you're working at home, taking care of kids, whatever it is you're doing, get up and do a couple exercises. I mean, it is unbelievable how little it takes to get in shape. But the converse is true also. It's unbelievable how when you do very little, how fast you can get out of shape. It's kind of exponential. And I'm not saying it's fair. I didn't design this system, folks. But you have to, you can come back from being sedentary very quickly if you put in some consistent effort and time. One other thing I want to say about the system, which is kind of cool, is that, first of all, it comes with a light and a medium cord, which is really important because some people, maybe if you're more petite, you weigh 115 pounds, you're probably going to start with the light cord. However, you can progress to the medium. Other folks like myself, I'm 6'2", couple hundred, 220. I'm going to use a medium cord. Sometimes I connect both cords, a medium and a light, which creates a heavy cord. The other thing that this system comes with is these handles. Now, if you're watching live, you can see the handle. If you're not watching live, it's literally like a handle that you'd put on a resistance training machine at the gym, like an adjustable cable pulley machine. So you've got the handle on there. And let's say you've tweaked your shoulder, and it's not terrible, but you're feeling a little tweak in your shoulder. You go onto the app and you go into the shoulder protocols or the rehab protocols, and we've got a Bulletproof Your Shoulder program. In fact, there's one that I taught in there. And we go through basic shoulder exercises to get the muscles around the rotator cuff, to get the muscles around the scapula-thoracic joint, to get all those muscles firing again so that we can have a strong, viable shoulder and play golf forever.
Awesome stuff, Pete. One thing I want to mention before we wrap up here today, because Peter's talked about it a couple of times, where he's used the word progressive. And it's really important to underscore that it is progressive in terms of program, but it's personal to you. So in the piece that you saw heading into this, a feature that I shot from St. Andrews, that was me doing my physical assessment. That was the first time that I'd done any of these moves. So you could tell they were kind of slow and they were kind of measured. And it's funny now, nearly a year on, watching those videos and kind of laughing at myself going, because I'm doing it every other day now in training. But the critically important thing is that Pete and all of the great trainers that are on there, experts, will be working with your capacity. They will challenge you, don't get me wrong, but they're working with your capacity from point A to B to C as you move on down the line. And Pete, that's one of the things that I think is so ingenious about what you guys do, is that one is people are going to be blown away with the depth and content of what you have. It is so deep and so much to offer. And then the fact that you customize it to the individual on that app is kind of mind-blowing. I just thought maybe you might want to comment about that too.
Well, this is all Dr. Jeremy James, who's the founder of GolfForever. He's a chiropractor from Aspen, and he was seeing patients in Aspen, and he started to notice a trend. Number one, they all golfed. And number two, they all had some kind of tweaks, usually low back pain. And you started to test them. You know, everything starts with an assessment. Even if you're looking at your finances, what does the accountant do? They look at your P&L, right? They assess it. So he would start to assess them. And he said, you know what? These guys it was mainly men that were in their 60s and 70s. These men all have tight hamstrings, so they all have tightness. These men all have weak cores, so they all have weakness. None of these men can balance when you put them on a single leg. They wobble around. And he started to put together this assessment of how can I test these guys quickly and efficiently and effectively, and then how can I prescribe exercises to help work on their deficits. And that was really the start of GolfForever. That's the reason I'm here. So it's a brilliant system. And now, obviously, to be able to offer that digitally is unbelievable, because now in the pocket of your hand, you have basically a physical therapist or chiropractor assessing your body from top to bottom. And then you have a strength coach prescribing you a routine on how to, address any dysfunctions or weaknesses that you have. And then that progresses over time. And I hope that we have some fun along the way, because as all of us know, exercise is not super fun. I mean, I've been doing it for 40 years now, and it's hard. It's tedious. It's monotonous. However, if you add a little bit of fun and humor and passion about what you're doing, sometimes that spills over to the client. And so that's what all the coaches try to come at it with, is just a great energy. And we're trying to share our gift, which is the gift of health and wellness and vitality and fitness, with our viewing audience. And it's done pretty well so far. I mean, we have 30,000 subscribers online. So
Absolutely incredible. You also have, you mentioned Scotty Scheffler, some of the best players in the world, like Scotty, that are associated with this. We also saw some quick video with Justin Leonard. Last time I saw Justin, I said, dude, you're looking stronger than I've ever seen you look, right? He's playing in the PGA Tour Champions now, but when you see Justin, he physically looks different than you remember in the past because he's so much bigger, so much stronger, lean, ripped. So how important has it been to be associated with players of that caliber just to continue to spread the word about Golf Forever?
Well, I mean, Scotty Scheffler's kind of an anomaly, right? He's a Haley's Comet. He's had a year unlike I've ever seen. I mean, maybe Tiger Woods back in the day, but so Scotty Scheffler. But keep in mind, he's a young dude. He's in his athletic prime. I mean, you could, he's going to respond. If you give him the right exercises, he's going to respond. And that's what his strength coach, Dr. Troy Van Biesen down in Dallas, has done with him over the years. He's had him since the high school. And he's incorporated all these golf-specific type of moves, which we now incorporate in the Golf Forever program. Justin Leonard's the interesting one to me. Because if you ask anybody on the Champions Tour or anybody that golfs and they're in their mid-50s, late 50s, 60s, 70s, the first thing they'll tell you is, man, if I don't, stretch out, if I don't warm up, I'm in trouble. Not only can I not hit the ball with distance and a good trajectory, but I'm going to tweak something. So it's not just it'd be nice to have, I have to do my Golf Forever warm-ups. And Justin Leonard's a great case of that. And he will tell you with 100% authenticity, like, not only do I like to do this, but I have to do this. And you can't get a better testimony than that. And by the way, even people look at me and they think, I'm super athletic, which I'm hanging on by a thread, Matt, but I'm beat up. I'm an ex-athlete. I did martial arts for 20 years and I grew up in Colorado jumping off of cliffs, skiing, and my body's beat up. So I'm literally the same way. Before I golf, I warm up. It's like 15 or 20 minutes. But let me tell you something, man. Once I've opened up my body and I go to swing, it is significantly different. Not only do I launch them off the tee, I just have a more fluid swing. I can stay in my arc a lot easier because my body's ready and open for that.
It's incredible. Pete Holman is a co-creator of the Golf Forever Swing Trainer. As you can see, he is spreading the gospel about the value of Golf Forever to everyone and to anyone. If you're looking to improve the quality of your golf game, if you're looking to play what you love to do, play golf and more, without any pain, without tweaking your body, as he phrased it, then you can be well on your way with Golf Forever. It's worked for me. I absolutely love it. Pete, I'm proud of you guys. I know that you're doing everything that you described, but I think it's deeper. I think it's changing lives as much as it is enhancing the depth and joy of golf games, or as you phrased it, go off and do whatever it is you want to do, if it's hiking up that hill or that mountain. So for all of that, thank you very much, my friend. It's been incredible.
We appreciate you, Matt, and I'll leave you with this. One of my favorite icons of all time is Bruce Lee. I came up in the martial arts, and Bruce Lee used to always say, in any passionate pursuit, the pursuit counts more than the object being pursued. And I think it's such a great analogy to life and to golf, right? Everybody wants to be a scratch golfer. Everybody wants to have a hole-in-one and have the best game ever. But it's the pursuit that gets you closer and closer and closer to the finish line. The same is true with your health, your wellness, your fitness, and your vitality. So if you want to play high-level golf, if you want to play Golf Forever, you got to get the Golf Forever Swing Trainer. You got to try the app and come train with us.
GolfForever.com, folks, is where you can go for more information on everything that you heard us talking about today. GolfForever.com, so that you can do exactly what Pete just said. You can golf forever and so much more. Pete Holman, thank you very much for your time. It's great catching up.
Thanks, Matt.